Let that light of joy shine in your life all the time. Oh, let that light of joy, let that light of joy, let that light of joy shine in your life. Well, today is an auspicious day. It's a very full day. It is composed of the first Sunday of this new year, 2019. It's Diversity Sunday. It's Epiphany. And as we go through this year, we're going to be acknowledging the 12 powers. And so it's the launch of that as well. But let's take a little closer look at Epiphany. Now, we know it as, certainly here in this church, we've had skits through Advent with each of the Magus, the Magi, as they went on their journey and we focused on various aspects of who and what these kings bring in us as we acknowledge it for us today. But most importantly, we can look at this arrival of the kings to the Christ child can be awakening of the arrival of that light in us. Happy birthday. What a great givenness this is that's already present all the time. Epiphany. Quite magnificent. This is our time in royalty because the kings have opened up a door in us. Also, co-founder Charles Fillmore wrote a wonderful book that's a foundation of unity called The 12 Powers. And in it, it takes 12 aspects of the tools that we can use in our lives to more and more become aware of our divine nature. Now, for January, the power is faith. The color is blue, and the disciple is Peter. Now, it doesn't take any stretch of imagination of what kind of faith each of the Magi needed to align with to follow their dream, to follow the star that led them to this awareness. The Christ child. We don't always know what the outcome's going to be. So I turn to the powerful sage of Merriam-Webster, the dictionary, to see more about Epiphany. Now, the first definition is the first manifestation of Christ to the Gentiles by Magi. Now, it's in Matthew chapter 2, verse 1 through 12. Now, it happens that the Magi are only written about in the Gospel of Matthew. This is something we celebrate this holiday season and this very day as this manifestation of the Christ. Very powerful. And then if we go to the second definition, it says a moment of sudden and great revelation or realization. Like when we arrive at that aha, or that moment of, I know this. Or when we get it. It's like getting the brass ring on the merry-go-round. We've arrived at some new light, enlightenment that is guiding us and can change our lives in an instant. I turn to Scripture, 2 Corinthians 5:7. I walk in faith even when I cannot see. Now, this is one of the components of faith. Because faith is, it may not be apparent
apparent to us yet. One way of looking at it is faith in the outside is our sight. I see you. I see the light. I see the beam. I see namaste. Our sight. But inside, our faith is turning within to our oneness. So it's an insight, something we can't see yet. We'll explore this some more. Sandra Campbell is one of the Unity ministers at Temple Plaza in Kansas City. And she says this: the power of faith is the power of attraction. Whatever is happening in our lives, we must set our intentions on what we want, but not yet realized. Wow. And we thought it was the secret is the power of attraction. It's our faith. It allows us to drop into knowing something before it is and attracting it. Now, there is the movement and energy of God everywhere around us and within us. And if we want something, we need set an intention. Now, prior to applying to be senior minister here, I was in Maui with the resolve that I was always going to live in Maui, and I wanted a new job. I had no idea what the new job was going to be. So what I decided to do was I focused on how does it feel to wake up in the morning and get ready to go to this new work. And then I focused on what does it feel like when I'm at work? What are the emotions and how do I feel? And then I thought about how does it feel when I leave this work? What feelings do I have as I'm departing the work? I never focused on what the work would be or where the work was going to be. And I gave it to God. And then you attracted me. And all of a sudden it was a given. With the easiest flow, it all just fell right into place. And boom, I'm here as the senior minister. And believe it or not, when I'm getting ready to come to work, I feel all those feelings I had thought about. And when I'm here at work, I feel all of those feelings I had focused on and visioned. And when I'm leaving work, I have those very same feelings that I focused on months before I ever thought about applying for this kind of a job. This is a powerful practice and one that can realize things we never even dreamed were possible in our lives. Now, Charles Fillmore adds to this wisdom. Charles Fillmore is the co-founder of Unity. And he says the office of faith is to take abstract ideas and give them definite form in substance. Ideas are abstract and formless to us until they become substance, the substance of faith. So in that example of my visioning process, the substance were the very real feelings I was focusing on about this new job. Where prior to that, it's just thoughts and ideas, and we have thousands of those. And they stay formless and abstract until we settle on something that we attend our faith on. to turn on the light of the power of attraction to bring something into our lives. Evelyn Foreman is a Unity minister. Evie and I, she's my hula sister. And we used to practice and perform for Unity Church of Hawaii for our Sunday services for Aloha Sunday. And unbeknownst to each other, because she had moved to another island, she got the call to ministry the very same time I did. Now, this is now 8 years ago. She went to Unity Village, became a minister, and I did my minister training in Oahu at the Unity National School Pacific Rim. But enough of that. Let's see what she has to say. As we live each day in faith, we willingly entrust our care to the Spirit of God within, to emanate, to flow, and to be. In doing so, we are allowing God to be God, to live in us, through us, and as us. Pretty powerful. That's why faith is a power tool. It's a tool that when we use it, when we center our faith in God, we allow the movement and energy of God to stir in us what is ours to give, what is ours to take, what is ours to do. Being one with God is an integral step to letting God be God. We've had enough time having the controls for God. Like the man behind the green curtain in The Wizard of Oz, we control God with our will, and we've tried it over and over again. I know I have. It's a lot easier to turn on my light of faith and then allow God to outpicture and lead me to what is mine to do. Harold Sherman was a gifted historian, lecturer, and writer. And he says, faith is the price you have to pay to get right answers to prayers. It is the one element or force which closes the gap between your real self and the God presence within. Now, if faith is the only price you have to pay to get your prayers answered rightly, is that too heavy of a price? Isn't it worth giving faith its due and turning on that power of attraction and then looking at this? What Harold is saying is that faith is the bridge between this body-mind and this oneness with God. So if we're ever feeling disconnected with God, we can turn on our faith, and we've already built the bridge that links us one with the God presence within us. That's a powerful tool. But much as if you've got a power tool, like a skill saw, if you don't plug it in, it doesn't work. And the same thing's true for faith. If you don't turn it on, it's not going to work the same way as if you turn it on. Turn to it. And Linda Martella Whitsitt, who used to be the senior minister at Unity of San Antonio, she is now serving as one of the directors at Silent Unity. Very good point here about faith. Conviction is the mindset of faith. Conviction is trust, assurance, and confidence. Now, if I was holding those visions and that prayer for how I was feeling about this new job I was going to have, if I had put the energy like, well, maybe I'll feel this way. Oh, if you think so, that's not going to build anything. We create things by being confident, by being assured, by owning it. And then she continues to say, in trust, we do not need to perpetually recite affirmations or keep a desire afloat like juggling pins that need our constant attention to stay above the ground. The fruit of trust is a peaceful mind. Who wants a peaceful mind? When we're opening ourselves to God, we're going to be in peace. We're going to have a peaceful mind. And if we have a peaceful mind, what's happening to our heart? Our heart will be peaceful. Our belly will be peaceful. Everything in our lives will be peaceful. And it's not required that we affirm these things over and over and over and over. Okay, God, okay, God, okay, God, okay, God. Or juggling it. The statement that Jesus made to us was, my way is easy and my burden is light. Well, how heavy is light? Can you even weigh it? So if we turn to allowing ourselves to build that bridge to our oneness with God, perhaps on a daily basis or a minute-by-minute basis, we're opening ourselves to an infinite possibility that will be revealed by God's outworking in our lives that allows us to let go and have a peaceful mind. This is good work. And it all starts by our connecting with the divine within us. So this might be a very good time to take a moment in meditation. And we'll start this with this beautiful song. Yes. We praise this day, this moment, our epiphany. Much like the Magi, having that moment where what had been guiding them inside was the birth of a child in Bethlehem. We come to this moment realizing more of our relationship to faith. Faith that shows us what we are basing our sight on. If we're always looking outside of us, our faith is only affecting outside of us. But when we drink in the faith within us, that insight is opening a whole world of possibility from the formless to the substance. It's a wellspring of possibility. For we know that in that oneness, we're not separate. We're aligned and one with God. We may ask, could it be this simple? Is my way really this easy? Is the only price I have to pay faith? I invite you to say yes to faith. And as we take this time now to go into the silence, connect with your oneness with God. And assuredly and confidently open your heart to faith. And listen to what Spirit is calling you now as we enter silence. And it is one with our connection with this spirit of oneness that we recognize that the tool of faith is always with us, closer to us than our own cell phone. And as we prepared to come back into this presence. We wiggle our fingers, we wiggle our toes, might roll our head. And when we're ready, we open our eyes, allowing the outer light to come in, to resonate with the light that we are. And we let that light shine in all that we do. And if we turn on the faith, we'll have a peaceful mind. And I've prepared an affirmation for us today. Faith blesses my day and paves my way. Let's say that together. Faith blesses my day and paves my way. And that is the truth.
Lead your faith.